and welcome to Ministry in Focus on the St. Paul Broadcasting Network, brought to you by St. Paul Lutheran Church here in Plano, Texas. So far, we've been focused on ministries outside of our church that we support or participate in, but today we have a special treat. We're going to be talking to Miss Lorilee from our very own St. Paul Christian School right here at St. Paul. Lorilee, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, it's not like I haven't met you before.
Indeed.
You've actually gotten a chance to work together on some projects the last year, the infamous year of 2020. But take a minute and tell us what you teach and what you do down at the school. I know it's not just like you come in and you knock one class out and then you're gone for the day. So,
well, I'm a little bit here, a little bit of there, and spend my day spread all over the school. So I get to do the best parts of St. Paul. So I am the music teacher, and so we spend my
favorite class.
Our time every day doing, songs preparing for chapel. We love to learn the songs about the Savior, and it's a lot of fun with the littles because we get to, experience the song. It's just not hearing the words. It's just not doing the music. It's a complete experience. We do the sign language, we do the body motions, and we try and incorporate those songs into their world. And what does this mean for you when you're a 3, 4, 5-year-old little friend learning about God, learning about Jesus? So we do our music for that. We dance, we play, we do instruments. We just kind of hit every aspect of it. The kindergarten class, we learn about composers. A lot of times we'll bring in little snippets of videos of flash mob dancing, or the orchestra performances, or a marching band performance, something just to kind of expose them to the entire world of music out there. We look at different genres of music, and we hear about opera, and we learn about jazz and just things like that. So they have a vast exposure to the world of music out there, and they can see how music can touch their souls and enrich their lives. And the most important part about it is how music can touch your spirit.
Gee, I kind of want to take that class. So you mentioned chapel. Now, about a year, no, it was more than a year ago, about March, something like that last year, we had just gotten our live streaming going, and we came in to film a chapel for the very first time. And before that, I'd never seen it. I didn't really know what it was. I knew that, pastor will come in and visit with the kids once a week. So getting to do that was really, really interesting for me because it's really a little church service.
It is, yeah. It's a chance for the kids. We have a lot of kids who have their own church families and get to experience that with their families, but we also have a lot of students who don't have that experience. And so this may be the only exposure that they get to that. And so it's wonderful to come into the chapel, to sit in the pews, to see the stained glass windows, and to...
and that's right. It's actually done in the sanctuary here at St. Paul.
It is.
So it's not like it's something that's just faking church. You're actually in church where we hold services every Sunday.
We are indeed. And Pastor, says prayers with them, and we recite the Father, I can't even say that. The Lord's Prayer. There we go. I couldn't even think of it for a minute. So I'll try that.
Or the Our Father. Depends on which denomination you're looking at here, I suppose. Right. But
so we recite the Lord's Prayer, and the kids get to participate in the chapel. Sometimes pastor might include them in the Bible story. So in the classroom, the teachers are sharing the Bible story with the children, and we're acting it out, or we might do a craft related to it, or we might do some classroom project connected to it, and then the songs that we sing and that we work on that week are related to whatever the Bible story is, so that they're getting that message from multiple modes and kind of strengthening that experience for them. And then they get to come to chapel and see what a church service is like, and I think they really enjoy it.
So one thing I remembered from that, and getting to see a couple of these, I think it's done pretty regularly, was pastor would have them come up when he got time for an offering, and you put the offering plates down and have them sit in the offering plate, because you are your offering to the Lord.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a really cool lesson for the kids. So talking about video production, now right after we did that, that was when 2020 went off the rails. And we had just gotten our live streaming started in the sanctuary, which is why we were able to do that. And things got very interesting for us all here at St. Paul. We were having to do things we'd never done before. And it was one thing on our side at the church, but when summer rolled around, what were we going to do about Vacation Bible School? Were we going to cancel it? How were we going to make this happen? And some resources came available from it was Concordia, right?
It was.
And we were able to produce our very own Rocky Railway Vacation Bible School. But that was really something that came out of your head. I mean, that was a format for a production there, but you spent a lot of time putting that. It was really, really like if you hadn't seen it, I know we had to take it down. There was copyright issues there, but it was really like a well done, well written children's show. We maybe need to bring that back, maybe in here or something like that. But going back to that, what was that for you when that landed in your lap?
Well, we had typically we do camps over the summer, and we love to have the kids come in. And our favorite thing to do is cooking camp. It surprised me when I came to St. Paul that they would have a cooking camp for children, and that would be such a popular thing.
But the whole thing, this is a big deal for the school every year. I mean, this is a big part of what the school does, right?
Yes. So Miss Barbara, our director, is, I call her a foodie because she is just incredible in the kitchen, and she's very creative with it, and had made a cooking camp such an amazing experience for these kids, and brought it down to their level. But it wasn't, let's just mix some Jell-O together. It's let's create some dishes, and we're putting together meals and creating things for rolling egg rolls and baking bread, and putting all the ingredients together and tasting them, taking them home, letting their families enjoy it. So it was really a very amazing way to set up the camp there. But with 2020 we couldn't do that. So we had to come up, what can we do with the kids? And so I thought it was a wonderful combination of taking the school and our kind of experience with kids and mixing it with what St. Paul Lutheran Church had access to with the Vacation Bible School resources, and just kind of putting a whole group together, and just having a few of the kids come in, but we trying to do our social distancing and keep it separate. So we just brought kids in that were of the same family, for a moment here, or some of the teenagers from the church to come help out at, a different moment, and just pull it all together so the kids could have a virtual Vacation Bible School. And some of the church ladies came in and packed up bags with snacks and the crafts and all the materials that we needed, and we got those out through a drive-by kind of a pickup time, and they got everything they needed so that they could participate. And every day we just broadcast that day's Vacation Bible School, and I think it was a great experience for the kids and a great experience for us too.
Yeah, and those were about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, some of those videos. So there was quite a bit of content in there. And what I was going back to was, I remember how much you came in prepared with. This lady's very organized. There was a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Every day, telling you what to do, Jody.
And it was color-coded. Yes.
Yep. Be here, do this.
You were the one running it. You were on camera. Obviously there was a lot of help with that. We had people stuffing the bags for the materials that went out to the kids. Mm-hmm. We had a couple of our youth from the church came in and worked. Actually, former student at St. Paul, Christian school. Yeah. All grown up now.
And it's really fun to see that. I love to see the connection of that. We actually have a teacher now at our school that was a student back, I think, 24 years ago. Wow. At the beginning of St. Paul. And now he's back as a student teacher while he works on getting his degree in teaching. He'll graduate next year. So it's fun to see it go full circle like that.
Wow. And that is something to mention is that was 24 years ago. The school has been here for 25 years. I don't know if you've got any kind of stories. I know you've been here a while, but 25 years isn't quite your tenure at St. Paul Christian School. It's
not. I'm actually the newbie here. I've been here 5 years, but all of our teachers have been here a long time. We have a kindergarten teacher that just retired. She's been here for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and other teachers have been here. We've got one that's been here 18 years, one that's been here 9 years, and I think it says a lot for the St. Paul community that we're a family here, We're really connected in our personal lives and just in our respect for each other as teachers. And I think we draw a lot of strength from each other. We take the time to notice, hey, wow, that was really neat how you did this or how you helped the kids this way. And, it's a lot of credit to our director, Miss Barbara, that, she keeps a family environment here. Every family that comes through our doors knows they're a part of St. Paul, and that she knows their names, she knows their families, she knows the siblings, and every morning she's at the door greeting them and welcoming them into our little family community.
Okay, so you mentioned just a minute ago about how it all feels like a family environment. People have been here for a long time. So last year, and we don't need to get into this too much because everyone is really beating this topic to death everywhere you go. But last year was quite challenging for everyone.
It was.
Everything had to change everywhere just to keep the doors open, even just to keep people involved. What was that feeling with that tight-knit family when all of a sudden people are scared? Some people weren't scared. You want to keep the kids around. You want to make the kids feel safe. You want the parents feel safe. I'm not focusing on a really good question here, but I am curious. Is there something you could tell us about the feeling that was down there as you dealt with that?
Sure.
And did that family environment really help you get through it?
Right. Well, as a staff, I think it definitely did, because we came together. We decided, what's our priority going to be? How are we going to keep the kids safe? How are we going to be able to keep the doors open? But we're very committed to, following the guidelines at the Health and Human Services. That's kind of our governing body, keeping the standards that they've, asked for us. And so, it was easy to follow Miss Barbara's lead on that and just stick to the things that we knew were going to make a difference for the kids. But then, we had to look at how can we make it still welcoming and inviting. And so, we worked on doing an orientation video so that the families knew everything that was in place, what we were doing to keep the kids safe and what we were doing to keep their day as routine as possible, And then we did name tags with our pictures on it, and it was kind of fun as the kids came in. We have a bulletin board with all the pictures of the teachers on them because we wanted them to know, even though we've got a mask on.
Everyone's face changed, right?
Yeah, this is who is underneath that
right?
mask, Yeah, and so it's kind of funny. The kids would look at our pictures and we'd say, we know who you are, And they just, the kids were resilient, and I think, the adults had a harder time adjusting than the kids did. I think the hardest thing for us as a staff was not having the parents come into the building to drop off the kids every day.
You lost a bit of connection there.
That was my favorite part of a morning in St. Paul, is drop-off time. We're sitting at the door to greet every family as they come in and watching not only the parents walk their child to classroom, but each of the teachers are standing in the hallway greeting each child as they come in, even if it's not their student.
That's the family moment, right?
Exactly. And the siblings come in too, and some of them have been former students, and so they go up to hug whichever teacher they had. And so we missed that, and we missed the connection with the parents. But I think, the teachers immediately got on texting and Zoom and connections with the families that way. And we decided it was better to have one person be the point in taking kids to the vehicles at the end of the day to do the carpool, and I got to be that person. So I really enjoyed seeing the families every day and connecting with them. So I didn't miss out on that. I think the same way some of the teachers in the classroom did, but they kept that connection, and we tried as much as we could, to do some videos of the Christmas program and to include the families. We couldn't do our Thanksgiving feast. St. Paul is famous for our Thanksgiving feast where we invite every family to come. And if you've never served lunch to over 200 people and seen 7 turkeys roasting in the kitchen at once. And
Wow.
imagine what you've missed.
We're going to leave her hungry.
But so, we tried to come up with creative ways to at least involve the families in doing a gratitude wall and taking pictures with them outside with their families with those thoughts of things that we were thankful for. And, we did a video of our anniversary and included the kids doing a fun little musical number so that we could at least send those out to the parents and they could see what their friends are doing at school every day. And the teachers kept really close connections to those families, and they would send them pictures on their phones and things like that so that the parents could at least know, all right, my child was crying when I dropped him off, but 10 minutes later she's having a great time and her day's going well.
And we've been fortunate to actually have this technology to get through this with.
We have.
Now, one thing that I really appreciated personally here was that the church and the school did make a commitment to doing what they can to stay open. And I know the church, everyone stayed home. We still had a service on Sundays. And the school did have to close down. But as soon as it was an option, I know you all went and worked on how you could get it back open as soon as there was an opportunity to do that. And that would have been the fall of 2020. Right. It ended the spring semester. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And I think Miss Barb told me a stat this week that is it 126. She's right here off camera with me. 126 schools in Collin County alone are closed, are closed, like they're gone. So even more important that St. Paul Christian School is still here, right, and is open for business. And
I think it's a credit to the church and the school that we work together to accomplish that. And, the church offered support to the school and the school offered support to the church. We had our journey to Christmas that didn't shut down. We just had to find a new way to do it. And so, we did it as a drive-by event instead of an in-person event. And the school, we created a video so the kids could still participate in that. And if you remember, we blew it up and put it on the big screen outside.
We had an inflatable
screen.
Screen, yes.
Yeah, so I think there was a lot of very creative ways to make this past year a successful one. We started with probably a quarter of the enrollment that we normally have, and throughout the year it just grew and it grew. And I think people appreciated the efforts we were making to keep the kids safe. And we never had to shut down during our 2020-2021 school year. So that was a tremendous blessing. And we just kept doing what we could do to keep it going. And the women's ministry was just delightful. They were so supportive of us, giving us little gifts to keep us going, keep our morale up every month. And it was we felt the support and the love and the appreciation for the efforts that we were making. And so it makes it just even more motivating to keep trying.
I remember the face shields. They sew them into like little Gilligan's Island kind of hats.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I remember thinking maybe when these kids are older, they won't remember the scary year where we had to wear things over our face. They might remember the year that we had to wear the funny hats.
Right.
But that might be something better in a memory.
Right.
When they go forward here.
Well, and it was great. The church opened up the fellowship hall for us so we could have a lunchroom, which, we haven't done that in the past, but that allowed us to spread out a little bit and be a little safer when they were having lunchtime. And the kids really enjoyed that. And, it's fun to hear the kindergartners give their blessing on the food every lunchtime. And they always had something to say about, thank you that we don't have COVID. So they were very aware of it. It was a part of their life, but you know what? They were just, it was a part of their life just like anything else is. And I don't think it was a realization that anything was different than it would have been otherwise, because that's just part of their life at this age.
Well, getting through a rough year like last year, after 25 years of being a strong Christian school here, maybe we'll look forward to 25 more, then the need will be there. More than ever, perhaps. Now, you aren't just the music teacher, though, at St. Paul Christian School.
No, I wear quite a few hats around here.
Do I remember right that you told me you were the Spanish teacher?
I am, yeah. We really enjoy that we can continue to offer Spanish. learning a second language or exposure to a second language is of huge benefit to children of this age. First of all, they're just sponges and they soak everything up. But, we try and do our Spanish program where a lot of interactive games, a lot of repetition things, and so that they're learning much the same way that you learn your own original language at home. We hide shoes around the room and we hunt for them. And where are your shoes? Oh, is that your shoe? Oh, that blue shoe must be his shoe. And by the time we've done, we've said the word shoe about 300 times, but they know this item that I'm holding right here is called a shoe, and that's how you learn it in your native language. And so that's how we're doing our Spanish program.
Well, you've got quite a few different nationalities at St. Paul Christian School.
We do.
So how many languages?
We've counted that we had about 19 different countries represented.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's fantastic. We do an International Day celebration every January, and Miss Barbara, with her food again, provides, let's try some naan bread, let's try some, fried rice, and let's try some a dish from Sweden one time, and just.
Can I get on the guest list for that next year? That actually sounds really good.
Parents are always welcome, so we just need to get you to enroll somebody here.
I can pretend like I'm someone's father, I
there
guess.
There you go. So we've even had some Chinese dancers come in and bring their, we call it the dragon dance, but technically it's a lion. But it's a lot of fun to incorporate that and to celebrate. And we encourage the kids to dress up in the garb of the country that their family has had their ancestry. And, we've had a lot of friends from Brazil and from Ireland and from Nigeria and from Sweden and Japan and Korea. It just across the globe. And it's been really fun to see the kids. We've had kids come in that English is not their native language, and they're just learning, and in the school environment, watching them grow and watching them get confidence in English and being comfortable. The kids are so amazing. They're opening and welcoming and accepting of everyone, and we've just found it to be a delightful experience.
Wow, right here in Plano, Texas.
Yep.
Who'd have thought, right? But it doesn't stop there. I'm reaching back in the memory here, but you're also the computer teacher?
Yes, I teach our keyboarding class, but we've set that aside for this past year, but we hope to bring that back again next year. We do computers, and we also have a library time, so I get to be the librarian. I just get to do all the fun things, so I can't complain.
I remember you telling me that. I thought it was really, really interesting that even that young, because what's the age range we have right now?
Well, our school starts at about, a year and a half to 2 and goes on up through kindergarten. We have done first grade on occasion. But for keyboarding, we start with the 3-year-olds. Yeah. And it's a good practice to learn, especially in the technology world that we now are a part of, and that these kids are growing up, and technology is an essential skill in their lives. And so just getting that hand-eye coordination, being able to work a mouse, being able to understand that if I move my hand to the left with the mouse, that the cursor is going to move on the screen accordingly, that's a skill that has to be developed. And so it's fun to have those programs to help the kids develop that.
It's interesting. You said when you're talking about the languages, how they're little sponges at that age. I had a friend of mine tell me once he had just had a baby, and I don't remember how old it was at this point, maybe a year or so. And one morning his son was sitting on his lap, and he was looking at a newspaper, and his son reached out and went on the newspaper. He's trying to swipe to the next page.
The screen.
So already,
absolutely,
at about a year old, I believe it was, he's getting the idea that there's no. Anyway, well, we've gone through quite a bit here. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people about St. Paul Christian School, about your time there?
Well, I think one of the things I appreciate the most about the school is that our goal with the children, is to foster independence, to help them get confidence, to help them move from wherever they are to the next level in their development. And I think the teachers work as a team in accomplishing that. Miss Wandy is our TWO's Learning Center. It's called TLC. But, I came in, of course, I assumed it was tender loving care, and it absolutely is, because she is all about Not let me prepare this lesson for whatever kids happen to show up. It's, what child is in my class and what does that child need and how can I get them to progress and move forward in their specific needs, and then they get to the threes program, and Miss Leslie's all about providing experiences for them that help them know that they can try and that it's okay if they don't succeed, but have the confidence to try and keep trying again, and she's just very welcoming of that kind of effort, and then she begins helping them to do the pre-writing skills and to build their hand strength. And she does a lot of Play-Doh and a lot of hands-on activities. And I always thought, Play-Doh's so messy. I'm glad I'm doing music and not having to clean up Play-Doh every day. But I didn't realize until, learning from her how much that's building their dexterity and their hand strength and getting them prepared for the pre-writing skills that they're going to need when they move to the fours program. And then the fours program, they're doing the letter people, which is all a phonetic program to help them learn the letters. They're kind of learning the shapes in the threes of the letters, and then they get to the fours and they're learning the sounds of the letters and what they mean. And if you don't know about the letter people, it's like, Mr. N is a noisy nose. I can say that without a tongue twister here. But, it helps them to connect the letter to a sound and that sound has some meaning. And then they move on to the next level in kindergarten of actually putting those letters together, realizing they have words and that they have power and significance and that you can say and communicate things, through that. So each level, the teachers are working in sync to help the kids move forward in their development. And, along the way, they're working on those social skills and they're out in the playground learning how to, share and how to deal with it when somebody doesn't share and how, and there are some skills that you just can't learn any other way other than experiencing them. And these teachers are phenomenal at helping those kids to maneuver and work their way through those kind of developmental challenges. And I just can't imagine being in a place I would enjoy more.
And a blessing for 25 years.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we end with a prayer?
Wonderful.
And thank you for your time here today. Thanks for making this easy for me. You're a wonderful guest. And I know it's not always easy to schedule these times, so thank you again for being here.
Absolutely.
Let's bow for a moment. Lord, we thank you for the blessing that St. Paul Christian School has been to St. Paul Lutheran Church and to our community here in Plano, Texas and Collin County. And we commit our teachers and our students and our families into your hands. In the name of the Lord Jesus, amen.
Amen.
To learn more about St. Paul Christian School, go to stpaulplano.org/school, and you'll find more about all of our ministries here at St. Paul Lutheran Church at stpaulplano.org. Thank you for joining us today.